welcome back to Hot Girls Eat Carbs. I am so happy you're here because this is your safe space of the internet where we chat all things health, wellness, and sustainable weight loss. And I'm your host, Brittany McChrystal. So before we dive in, I have pretty huge life updates for you. And if you missed it over on Instagram, and if you don't follow me, then what are you doing? Nah, I'm just kidding. It's Brittany McChrystal if you do want to follow though, and I will pop it in the show notes. But the big news is we are officially leaving Thailand. Like, what? After 2 incredible years here, which feels absolutely insane to say out loud, I'm moving back to Australia. And I honestly cannot believe how fast the time has gone. Thailand has been this beautiful, chaotic, incredible roller coaster, and I've made friendships that feel like family, and I've had the most expansive and wild life experiences. And if I'm being honest, I'm genuinely not ready to leave, but my gut is telling us that it is the right time. And as amazing as it is, Thailand can be a very transient place. You know, people come, they go, and you find yourself starting over again and again. And as much as I love the adventure, my soul is really craving the deeper roots right now. I'm craving stability and being close to my friends and my mum, and just a little bit of a life that's a little bit more familiar. So we are moving to Melbourne, and if any of you are from Melbourne, please slide into my DMs. I'm not even kidding. I need all of the help that I can get. I literally know nothing about it except that my partner Josh is from there, which is pretty much the only reason why we chose to go there. I've only been a handful of times, so I'm basically starting my life from scratch again for the 3rd time. And for anybody that is new here, here's the quick backstory. I was born and raised in New Zealand in Auckland, and I moved to Sydney in my mid-20s for 2 years. Then I packed up for Thailand for 2 years after going through a breakup, and now Melbourne is the next chapter. We move on November the 14th, which is coming up so fast. I am currently surrounded by a fortress of cardboard boxes, but hopefully this is our last move for some time. Anyway, that is the big life update, and honestly, this is a huge life change that is making me think so much about resets, fresh starts, and stepping into new versions of ourselves, which actually leads us perfectly into today's episode. Because whether you're moving across the world or just moving into a new season of life, now is the perfect time for a reset. Not a wait until January the 1st reset, but right here, right now reset. This is our golden opportunity to reevaluate our self-concept and look at how we're moving through our days and intentionally decide to finish the year the healthiest, happiest, and yes, the hottest versions of ourselves. So today we're not just talking about it, we are creating the blueprint. So go and grab a cozy drink, maybe a notebook, and let's get into how you're going to glow up and become that girl that you have always dreamed of being. Alright, first things first, we can't know where we're going unless we get really, really honest about where we are right now. And I want you to frame this as a gentle, compassionate audit. This isn't about judgment or making a list of all the things that you're doing wrong. This is a loving check-in, and it's about getting curious about your own life. So if you can, grab a journal, open the notes app on your phone, or just create some quiet space in your mind to be with these questions. There are no wrong or right answers, it's just only your answers. So let's start with the very beginning of your day. Question 1. How do I truly feel when I wake up in the morning? And I meant that for a moment right after the alarm goes off, before the day's chaos sweeps you away. Is your first feeling dread or anxiety about your to-do lists? Or do you feel rested and peaceful? Maybe you feel excited, or maybe it's just neutral. Be honest, because for a long time, my first feeling was a frantic rush. My brain instantly calculating everything that I had to do, and recognizing that the first clue was that my mornings weren't serving me. Your morning energy is such a powerful indicator of your overall state, so just notice what's there. Question 2. What are my go-to habits when I feel stressed or bored? These are what I call our default patterns. When that uncomfortable feeling hits, whether it's anxiety about a deadline or just the Sunday scaries, what is your immediate impulse? Do you automatically reach for your phone to numb out with a TikTok scroll for an hour? Do you wander the pantry and snack on things that you know won't make you feel good physically? Or maybe your habit is positive. Maybe you instinctively put on your sneakers and go for a walk or call a friend to vent. Again, this is no judgment. If your answer is, I eat a whole bag of chips and scroll Instagram, it's just data. It tells us that you're craving comfort and distraction. Now we know what we're working with. And this brings us to question 3. And this is a big one. What does the voice inside my head sound like? Think of her as your inner roommate. She is your biggest cheerleader or your hardest critic. When you make a mistake, does she say, it's okay, you learned something? Or does she say, ugh, why do you always mess things up? When you look in the mirror, does she hype you up? Or does she point out every single flaw? My inner critic gets especially loud during times of big change. Like this move to Melbourne, I have to consciously catch her and remind her to be kinder. Becoming aware of that voice is the first step to changing the entire narrative of your life. And finally, my favorite question for clarity. What in my life right now drains my energy and what truly, deeply fills my cup? I want you to think about this in all areas. Think about the people you spend time with, the content you consume online, the work you do, the environment you live in. Maybe that weekly catch up with a certain friend leaves you feeling completely exhausted. That's an energy drain. Maybe scrolling through a particular influencer's perfect feed drains your confidence. But on the other side, maybe that 30-minute Pilates class, even though it's hard, leaves you feeling energized and powerful. That fills your cup. Maybe listening to a specific podcast, amen, makes you feel inspired. That fills your cup. Get specific here. Write down the literal names, places, and activities. So take a moment with those morning feelings, default habits, and your inner voice, and also your energy sources. Looking at your answers, you now have the most valuable data in the world, data about you. Maybe you've realized that your mornings are chaotic. Your screen time is draining you, and your inner critic is running the show. Welcome to the club. Literally, all of us have been there. This awareness isn't a reason to feel bad, it's a reason to feel empowered. So now you have a map of the exact areas that are ready for this beautiful transformation. You have the data you need to start making small, intentional, and powerful changes. Okay, so now we've done our gentle audit. We've looked at where we are now, and okay, so we've done our gentle audit. We've looked at where we are right now, and now we're going to do my absolute favorite part. This is the dreaming, the designing, and the creative directing of your own life. This is where we stop letting life happen to us and start deciding who we want to be. Because here's a little secret. You cannot become what you cannot envision. A vague goal of just being happier or healthier is like putting in a nice place into your GPS. You'll just drive in circles. We actually need a specific address. We need a clear, vibrant, detailed, and picture of the woman who we are becoming. So I want you to grab that notebook or open a new note on your phone, and we are going to create a full-on character profile of this next level version of you. Think of it like you're a novelist and she is your main character. So let's get really specific here. First, let's start with her inner world, her mindset. How does she feel on a daily basis? Is the dominant feeling in her body calm, confident, playful, grounded, creative? And more importantly, how does she speak to herself when she looks in the mirror? Or is she picking herself apart, or is she saying, damn, look at you, you're showing up today? When she makes a mistake, does she spiral, or does she see it as a lesson? Let's write down a core affirmation for her, something like, she is her own biggest hype woman and treats herself with unconditional kindness. Now let's talk about her physical presence and energy. How does her inner state translate to her body? How does she walk into a room? Does she shrink and try and take up as little space as possible? Or does she walk in with her shoulders back, her head held high, and a soft, open energy that makes people feel comfortable around her? Describe her vibe. Is it magnetic, serene, powerful? She's not arrogant. She's just deeply comfortable in her own skin, and that radiates outwards. Next, let's script her daily rhythms and rituals. What does her ideal morning look like? And be realistic but beautiful. Maybe it's not a 2-hour 20-step routine. Maybe it's just the first 15 minutes of her day begins with being hers and hers alone. Is it a frantic phone check and a mad dash out the door? Or is it a sacred, peaceful time with a hot lemon water, 5 minutes of stretching while her coffee brews and setting one simple intention for the day? What about her evening routine? How does she wind down? Maybe she puts her phone on Do Not Disturb for an hour before bed and reads a book. These small rituals are what builds such a beautiful life. And of course, how does she approach nourishment and movement? She doesn't see food as the enemy or workouts as a punishment. Food is fuel, it's pleasure, and it's the building block for her radiant energy and glowing skin. Movement is a celebration of what her body can do. Maybe she finally lets go of the workouts she hates and instead falls in love with dance classes or hiking or Pilates because it makes her feel strong and graceful. Finally, this is a big one. What are her boundaries? Is she a people pleaser who says yes to everything and ends up being resentful and drained? Or does this vision of her know her worth? Does she value her time and energy? And she isn't afraid of saying a loving, graceful no to protect her peace. Her no isn't harsh. It's a reflection of the deep yes she has for herself. Okay, you should have a pretty amazing list of traits and feelings by now. Now let's make it visual. This is your official permission slip to spend some time on Pinterest. I want you to create a private board of this version of you. Title it the 2025 Glow Up or Future Self. For my move, I've literally made one called Melbourne Me. The pins, the outfits she would wear, and that make her feel incredible. Pin the aesthetics of her calm, clean, and beautiful living space. Pin quotes that reflect her new mindset. Pin images of the vibrant, healthy food she eats. This isn't about materialism. It's about curating a visual frequency of the life you are calling in. And while you're gathering inspiration, look for icons and mentors. The key here is not to copy them, but to identify the specific trait you admire and write it down. Like borrowing Sarah's consistency with her workouts, or channeling my boss's confidence in meetings. Do you see what we're doing? We're creating a blueprint, a North Star, and let me be so clear, this isn't about creating some perfect fantasy person that you'll never be. Every single one of these traits, the confidence, the peace, the discipline, the self-love, is already inside you. It's already there. It's just maybe a little dormant. You are giving yourself permission to activate the most aligned, powerful, and authentic version of you. Now, this is my personal toolkit, habits that keep me aligned and glowing. So we have our before picture from the gentle audit, and we've designed our vibrant after vision. Now for the most important question. How do we actually bridge the gap? The answer isn't in massive, overwhelming changes. It's in the small, consistent daily habits that build a new reality. So I wanted to get a little bit personal and share a little bit about what has been in my toolkit lately and the things that are genuinely making me feel amazing in my own skin as I navigate all of this change. So let's talk about my non-negotiables, my internal self-care. For me, my inner world dictates my entire outer world, and my secret sauce has been a combination of two simple things: journaling and hydration. Every single morning, before my hand even thinks about reaching for my phone, I do a 5-minute brain dump in my journal. I write down any anxieties, stray thoughts, and things on my to-do list. Whatever is cluttering my mind, it's like a mental housekeeping, and it clears up so much space. Then I fill up my giant water bottle. Seriously, my emotional support water bottle is one of my most important accessories. It comes with me everywhere. Staying properly hydrated is one of the most underrated glow-up hacks there is. It impacts your energy, your skin, your focus, literally everything. Now, next up, let's talk about movement. My entire philosophy on this has changed. The goal is to feel active, strong, and alive in my body and not to punish it. I completely stopped forcing myself to do workouts I hate. And right now, living here in Thailand, how could I not? I've become completely obsessed with Muay Thai, and it is so much more than just a workout. It is the most incredible stress release. There is something so raw and empowering about learning the skill, connecting with the culture here, and feeling so incredibly strong and capable in my body. It has taught me so much about my own power and discipline, and honestly, it makes you feel like a total badass. But not every day is a high intensity day. I never, ever, ever underestimate the power of a hot girl walk. Putting on a good podcast, aka maybe this one, and just walking for 30 to 45 minutes has been an absolute game changer for my mental clarity and my physical stamina, especially with all of the moving stress. The key is for you to find movement that you genuinely enjoy. whether it's dancing in your kitchen, lifting heavy weights, or training in martial arts. And of course, we have to talk about nourishment because hot girls eat carbs, but they also eat foods that love them back. I've shifted my mindset from what can't I eat to what amazing, vibrant foods can I add to my plate. I focus on nourishing my body from the inside out. For me, this looks like starting my day with a protein-rich smoothie packed with spinach, tropical fruits, and chia seeds. It looks like making sure my lunches and dinners have a great source of lean protein like grilled chicken or fresh fish. Tons of colorful veggies and healthy fats like avocado or olive oil. It's not about restriction. It's about abundance. And let's be real, I absolutely still have chocolate and a glass of wine. It's all about balance, baby. These habits, journaling, hydration, and movement like Muay Thai and mindful nourishment, they're not revolutionary on their own. But when you practice them consistently, they compound. You start to feel different, and then you start to look different, and you start to carry yourself with a new energy because you're proving to yourself day in, day out that you are worthy of being cared for. I want you to embrace the process because perfection isn't the goal, and thank God for that. Now, I really want you to lean in a little bit closer because this is the most important part. We can do all of the vision boarding and habit tracking in the world, but if we don't get this one piece right, none of it will stick. We have to talk about embracing the messy, imperfect, beautifully human process of it all. This glow up journey is not a straight line. It's not a perfectly curated Instagram feed. It's more like a dance or maybe a clumsy squiggle. There are going to be days, I promise, where you will skip your workout. And there will be nights where you are exhausted and dinner is a takeaway pizza you eat on the couch while watching reality TV. And there will be mornings where you forget to drink your water and dive straight into coffee and chaos. And you know what? That is 100% completely and totally okay. I mean, let's be real. Look at my life right now. I'm sitting here in Koh Samui recording this podcast, literally surrounded by a mountain of cardboard boxes. Do you think my routine is perfect? Absolutely not. Last night, dinner was whatever I could find in the nearly empty fridge because I was too exhausted to cook after packing all day. And I have missed a Muay Thai session this week. Multiple times. Life happens. And we have to get out of this toxic all or nothing trap where we think one bad choice derails everything. It's like getting a flat tire and deciding to slash all of the other three. It makes zero sense, but we do it with our habits all the time. We eat one cookie and think, well, the whole day is ruined. We may as well eat the entire sleeve. No, this is not how this works. Becoming that girl isn't about being a perfect robot who never makes a mistake. Her superpower isn't perfection, it's resilience. It's the ability to have an off day and not let it bleed into a week or an off month. It's about waking up the next morning, taking a deep breath, and gently recommitting to the woman who you want to be. No drama, no shame, just a quiet, okay, today is a new day, let's try it again. So please give yourself so much grace because the goal here is progress, not perfection. And a part of that is learning to celebrate the small, almost ridiculously tiny wins. Did you drink your water today? Stop and actually tell yourself, good job, amazing. Did you go for a 10-minute walk on your lunch break? Incredible. Did you choose to get out of bed 15 minutes earlier instead of doom scrolling? These are all massive wins. And every time you make one of those small positive choices, you are casting a vote for your future self. You are providing your brain with concrete evidence that says, see, I am the kind of person who prioritizes her rest. I am the kind of person who moves her body. These little votes add up and eventually they create a new identity. As we head into these last couple of months of 2025, embrace it all. Trust the timing of your life, even when it feels chaotic and you're living in boxes. And please be so kind to yourself as you grow. So that is our plan, besties, to finish 2025 stronger, cleaner, and more radiant than ever before. Your homework this week is simple. Take 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, and write down the answer to this question. What is one small habit I can integrate into my life this week, and what would make my future self proud? Just one, start there. And if you want, send that habit to me via Instagram. I would love to chat to you about it. And hey, before I sign off, if you have been listening to all of this and you've been super inspired, but also maybe a little overwhelmed, like, that sounds amazing, Brittany, but I don't know where to start and I need some accountability, then I would like to personally invite you to check out my one-on-one coaching. This is where we take all of these concepts and create a personalized roadmap just for you. We get clear on your goals, we build sustainable habits that actually fit into your busy life, and I'll be there in your corner cheering you on every step of the way. So if you are ready to finally stop the cycle of starting over and step into the healthiest, happiest version of yourself with confidence and a clear path, then this is for you. I would be so honored to support you on your journey. The link to apply and get all the details is right there for you in the show notes. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am cheering for you every step of the way from Thailand to Melbourne and beyond.